All right, welcome back to What the Farm. This is Jim, and today I want to talk about what it's like being in isolation in jail. Uh, Before we start, follow the prompt like always. If you have any thoughts or questions, drop them in the comments. Um, I really enjoy interacting with everybody. I really have found that I like making this content. And I was talking to a friend, ironically from jail, and he suggested that I make a video talking about this because the first time I spent 100 days in jail, I had to spend. It was in 2021, and we got stuck in in a solitary cell. There were three of us in a two-person cell, and we got stuck there for almost 3 weeks. And it was as close as I can imagine a human can get to being in hell. It is the most emotionally devastating, um, trapped in your mind, no inputs, uh, no breaks, no. It feels like it's never going to end, and each day is like 3 days. It goes on and on and on. We were allowed out of our cell for maybe an hour every 36 hours. So you'd go a day and a half, and then you get out, and you could take a shower. You could talk on the phone. Um, you could um, like order canteen, get some junk food or whatever. So we all came in there together from this kind of a detox cell. If you heard any of my other, um, or if you've watched any of my other jail related content, and they basically have you all in a line. They don't tell you what's going on. We didn't know what was going on, but it was basically quarantine for COVID. And before they put you out in the general population, they wanted to make sure you didn't have any, you didn't present with any symptoms. So here we are. I don't know either of these people. The only person I recognize at all is the guy who had just gone through fentanyl detox and spent 10 days puking his brains out, pooping himself, sleeping in his puke, living in a shower. I thought he was going to die. Uh, he never talked, he never ate, he never did anything. So he had stopped detoxing, and they throw us into isolation, and I'm stuck in there with him. I was a hospital corpsman in the Navy. He was a Marine, and we got along great. The other guy was an Army younger guy, younger than both of us, who, for some magical reason, could sleep all the time. So that he laid in bed for like 20 days, never moving. So here we are, stuck in this cell. I'm going crazy, like losing my mind. I would walk back and forth in this cell 8, 9, 10 miles a day. I measured each block, add up how the blocks, divide that, by 5,200 feet, and had a number that if I walked back and forth enough times, that equaled a mile. It may not have been exact, but it was. I would just walk, or do push-ups or stuff like that. But there's three of us in it. You have two bunks and then a boat on the floor. And I was in the boat, so I'd have to slide that underneath the bunks during the day. The other two guys just kind of laid there all the time, most of the time. Though the guy I was friends with, or I'm still friends with, he would sleep a lot because he had just finished detoxing. But the rest of the time, he was starving because he hadn't been eating, hadn't been, he had lost a whole mountain of weight in detox. And we would we got one half of a book, and it was a Louis L'Amour book about a gold mine, had preacher in it. If you ever been in jail and read Louis L'Amour, you may have read the story. But all that we did is we would read this book, switch off. We like in grade school or with your kids, where I'd read for a chapter, then Blake would read a chapter. The other kid didn't want to participate, and we read it over and over and over and over and over. For they didn't want to give us books, they didn't care. Nobody gives a crap. The only comic relief the whole time was storytelling amongst us, and we'd get out of our cell, and the guy I was friends with, he'd get on the phone with his family and just start screaming at them about, because he's starving, of telling them to order him food or call his lawyer or get him out or whatever, and it would just go on and on and on. And I remember saying to him stuff like, "Why do you talk to your family like that?" and like, they're never going to give you what you want doing that. And it took like a week and a half for us to get any outside canteen food, and it was just, everyone is so excited, or desperate really, to get something that's supplemental to eat, uh, that when you get canteen that way, it's only once or twice a week that they deliver it, so you have to find a way to manage that so you don't eat it all. Like, what happens when you have nothing is you just eat everything, and now you're right back to starving the very next day. And he was starving, and I had ordered a whole bunch of extra stuff and had my family send me some extra stuff. The point of it being so I could help them, because I had more appetite control, I guess, than they did. But we finally, after like 19 days, they take us out and put us back into I don't think it was the same. It wasn't the same pod, but it was the same setup where you were just a big open ward with a bunch of bunk beds in it, and that's where we spent the rest of the time that I was with them. And eventually, I got sent off to the "You're going to be here a while still," and I think when I left, he had like 7 more days, and then after I got out, he and I reconnected, and we've been friends ever since. And he's been sober for like 4 years. I'm working on being sober for 2, and don't get arrested. And if you do get arrested, don't get sent into solitary confinement, because it is like disturbing what it's like to be stuck in a box with your thoughts 24/7. And I've met people who seem to think it's fine, but like, it is the hardest days of your life. Maybe like being a prisoner of war or something would be similar. And it was, as hard as it was, I remember it like it was yesterday. And we found a way to have a relatively pleasant time, but it was miserable. But anyway, thought you might think that's a cute story. Talk to you next time. Bye.